Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mondays with Mel. My name is Melissa Chung-Mowat, and I am your NDP candidate for Winnipeg North. Thank you so much for joining us on this very first Monday chat. We will be hosting these events every Monday, so please keep an eye on the social media channels at Mel4WPG North on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we'll be posting updates about who will be joining us and the times that you can tune in. So I'm really excited, though, to have our very first guest join us this Monday. Judy, thank you so much for joining us. Judy Wasylycia-Leis, the former MP of Winnipeg North. Judy, nice to see you. We just had the nomination meeting on Thursday.
Thank you very much for having me as your first speaker on Mondays with Mel. This is a treat and an honor for me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think it's very timely given that you emceed the nomination meeting on Thursday, which was a great event and a great way to kickstart this series. And so thought maybe you could share some reflection on the Winnipeg North nomination meeting.
Well, I was blown away by the attendance. First of all, huge number of people on Zoom. I think there was between 100 and 200 people all trying to get on, and it was just so exciting to see that momentum in Winnipeg North and to know that you had developed this kind of following, this group of support leading up to the nomination meeting. Gives me such hope for the future, because that's what it will take. It's that kind of grassroots mobilization and community collaboration that gets us to victory. And I was really thrilled to see what you've done and to feel the love people have for you, and to know that you've got that determination and courage to take Winnipeg North right through to the ballot box with a win.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. I felt very much supported and uplifted and energized by the folks who joined the call, but also the people who were presenting and sharing words with us. It was very inspiring, and I know that we've all been a bit zoomed out the past while, but I got several messages after the meeting, just how people felt the energy, and they were feeling so inspired and hopeful for the future and wanting to join this movement. And so it definitely felt like a launch point, and that there's just some real momentum building. And so I'm so thankful to have that opportunity to come together in that way.
Well, and I think the other really standout part of the nomination meeting was, in fact, your speech. You touched on the values of people in Winnipeg North, and you gave us a sense of hope for the future, and you shared a vision for actually addressing some of the most egregious examples of inequality and poverty and lack of employment, secure employment, and opportunities in Winnipeg North. And I really believe that you've got those values, and you're going to transform our NDP association into activism, and you're going to help us win Winnipeg North, which is so important for the future.
Yeah, I think, as I was thinking about writing the speech, which was challenging, I spent a lot of time crafting it and pulling it together, just because I really wanted it to reflect not only myself, but the community that's come around me to make this possible, and the community strength that is, has existed here for such a long time. And that, I truly firmly believe that community knows what community needs to thrive. And I've had the opportunity to work in this community for the past 10 years and just see that in action. And I've constantly been left feeling just so inspired by the leadership here. And, one thing that sticks out to me about Winnipeg North is that people who live here can come from deep roots in this community going back many generations, but can also be here as, newcomers to this community. And I would say for myself, I'm a relative newcomer to this community, living here for the past 7 years. And I've never felt a greater sense of community than I have here. And I'm just so excited for what's to come, because There's lots of need here, but there's lots of innovation, and there's so many strengths to build upon, and to have, we need leaders who can come here, meet community where it's at, and really amplify the work that's already being done.
Well, your experience is so much like my own coming here to Winnipeg North. My husband, Ron, and I moved to Winnipeg in 1982, so almost 40 years ago. And we both felt it was like coming home. The ethnocultural diversity for people with a name like Wasylycia-Leis was so wonderful. And the fact that we felt that this welcoming in Winnipeg North, and from a community that's been through a lot of adversity and overcome many difficulties, as whether you're immigrants that settled here in the early 1900s or newcomers who just have come in the last few years. This real strong sense of caring and sharing for one another. And I'm deeply grateful to Winnipeg North for accepting me as a family member. And every group that I've encountered over the last 40 years through all of my politics has been like that homecoming. Whatever ethnocultural or organization, whatever Indigenous community group, whatever neighborhood association, there's always been that caring and sharing that has put me at ease and made me feel at home and driven me to get out there and do something with the community to affect real, lasting, meaningful change. One thing I was struck by in your speech was similar to my own. You said, I don't come from a political family. So it's not like you woke up, you woke up one morning and said, I'm going to be prime minister. But you came to this through a set of life experiences and through some values that drew you to affect political change through the NDP in Parliament and with community. And I'm just so pleased to see that kind of background on your part. I had a similar experience when I was going to university back in the 70s, early 70s, the height of the women's movement. I had a professor who gave me words that I've never forgotten. And she said, politics is the route to power, and power transforms. Power transforms. Power determines whose interests will flourish and whose will perish. And so it's reminded me ever since that we've got to get into politics to fight for equality and justice for and human dignity for everyone.
Yeah, and that was something that was important to me, I guess, to share. And I shared in the speech that when people ask me why I chose to put my foot forward, I often give them my whole life story, which is, I need to tighten that up. But it's so important to me to share where I come from, because it informs so much of who I am and the values and the outlook that I have. And then, why I put so much importance into community building. And being raised by a single Métis mom, strong woman, but we faced many challenges that were definitely poverty driven. And we spent much of my younger childhood navigating systems of poverty. And it wasn't until, in my high school years that we found some stability. And it was a high school world issues teacher that started to give me the tools and the words and the framework to understand the world around me, and that, it didn't need to be this way. And so from then on, I just took a real passion in social justice and broadening my understanding of the world. And so, going right into university, and I saw one of my former university profs comment on your photo recently.
Oh yes, Shannon Sanford, that was great.
So I've had some great mentors, whether in university or in the community, and many mentors who had joined the nomination call who've, helped guide me and have lifted me up. And so it's so important to me to give back to the community that's given me so much, and to be a strong voice to advocate on the needs here, because there's some deep needs, but there's so much strength here, and all we need
Absolutely
is our political leadership to truly meet community here and amplify that. And so that's what I want to bring to the table. And I'm just really thrilled to be able to, share this space with folks like you, Judy, and others who are currently holding political leadership roles, and and leaders in the community, because there is so much strength here. And so I don't feel alone at all. I feel so like in such good company in our community, and I'm really excited to see where we can, build this momentum in this movement.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I think Winnipeg North is just the best constituency in the whole country. I think we've got to have the most diversity of any other constituency, and we've got this rich history of collaborating when times get tough. And I think it deserves good representation, and someone who really will work with community to empower those voices and to affect lasting change. We've got a lot of big issues to confront in Winnipeg North. I mean, we have a lot of poverty and homelessness. We have hardworking families who are just eking out an existence. We've got a lot of job insecurity, and with the pandemic, it's been much more difficult for working families trying to eke out an existence and survive and keep everyone safe. So we need to find a way to pull together that energy that you have behind you, and the spirit of diversity and through adversity in Winnipeg North, and make a real difference in the next election. People here deserve change.
Yeah, and we're going to need, all of this community strength moving forward, and we do really need to fight for that better future, because as of things, where they're at right now, we need these strong voices to advocate on behalf of community. And I'm so just honored to be in this role to walk alongside community and hopefully be that voice that can be that strong voice that is needed. And so, yeah. Well, Judy, I think we're almost at our time.
No.
I know. We could chat for much, much longer, but again, thank you so much for sharing some of your thoughts and reflections on the nomination. We have one question that we'd like to kind of end with. And so I'm going to pose it to you. Why is your community important to you, and how do we work together to build on its strengths?
A great question. It gets to the nub of our discussion, which is you can't do this without community. You can't affect political change without grassroots collaboration. You can't move mountains and move towards equality and justice without the backing of social justice activists, without the backing of trade unions, without academics, without neighborhood associations, without environmentalists, and so on. And I think that you know that. I can sense that. You live that, and you bring that to the table. For me, that's vital. I could not have succeeded in representing Winnipeg North for 14 years and going through 5 elections and winning without the backing of community. And I saw my job as being a voice for community, of bringing their struggles to Parliament to empower others. So I got my energy from community. I brought it into the halls of the House of Commons, and just by speaking those concerns and putting them on the record, it gave new energy and power back to the community to keep the struggle going, because it has to continue beyond the life of a parliament or a few parliaments. There is so much more that has to be done. It will take a long time, but every step we take, working hand in glove with community, will make a big difference.
Thanks so much, Judy. That's a great note to end with, something that I'm going to carry with me. And so again, thank you so much for your support. I'm so looking forward to continuing to work together and to build this movement. And I'm just very thankful to have your support.
And I'm thankful to you for putting your name forward. You have courage and conviction, and I know you will do great. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this chat. We will have another one next Monday, so keep an eye again on the social media for updates on who that will be and at what time. Thank you, Judy, for joining us, and we look forward to chatting again soon. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next Monday. Thanks, Judy. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Take care. Bye. Be safe.
Bye now.